California's water crisis, a tale of drought and flood. California, with its vast deserts and unpredictable weather, has been wrestling with water challenges for decades.
California's water crisis is forcing state officials to find new ways to limit resources, but one community, called Mountain House, is only days away from having no water at all.
Despite periods of heavy rainfall, the state's outdated water management system struggles to effectively capture and store this critical resource.
Having a single water supply could put the community at risk, and work that was supposed to have been done over the last decade to look at alternative water supplies, but for one reason or another had not been a high priority.
The result is a recurring cycle of droughts and floods, leaving some areas dry and others submerged. In response, the state has embarked on an ambitious new project to confront these issues head-on.
Tonight, federal and state regulators have released their final plans for the project.
But it's still facing some major pushback. CBS 13's Sade Brown is getting answers on what's next.
This groundbreaking effort involves transforming a dry valley into a massive reservoir, capable of holding billions of gallons of water. But why is this project happening now? And how will it address California's long-standing water woes? Stay tuned as we dive into the details of this monumental initiative, its potential impacts, and the obstacles it faces.
This project will collect water during flood events. So when we have those major events, it's going to pull the excess, which will also help with flood control down, especially in our Sacramento area.
And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Your support means the world. A persistent struggle with water. California's relationship with water has always been fraught with challenges. Much of the state is classified as desert, making water scarcity a constant concern. When American settlers arrived centuries ago, they struggled to cultivate the land due to limited water supplies. Fast forward to the present, and the situation has barely improved. In October 2021, California's governor declared a statewide drought emergency.
So we're in a remarkable moment. We're experiencing drought conditions throughout the vast majority of state,
urging residents to reduce water usage by 15% to help alleviate the crisis. By 2023, this emergency was still in effect, with the state enduring official drought conditions for over 1,000 consecutive days. However, the challenges didn't stop there. Amid the prolonged drought, California experienced extreme rainfall, resulting in severe flooding across several areas. This forced the governor to declare yet another state of emergency, underscoring the volatile nature of the state's water woes. California often finds itself grappling with the paradox of simultaneous droughts and floods. How is this possible? The answer lies in water management. During periods of heavy rainfall, vast quantities of water flood the region, yet only a small percentage is effectively captured and stored. Once the rain subsides, much of this water has evaporated or flowed out to sea, leaving the drought conditions largely unchanged, as though the rain never came. To address this, California has historically taken action. In the 1950s, facing similar challenges, the state launched the State Water Project, SWP, a monumental initiative aimed at capturing and storing water during floods to make it available during droughts. The SWP's early years saw the construction of over 20 dams, enabling the creation of massive reservoirs to store rainwater. Among the most notable are Lake Oroville, formed by the Oroville Dam, and Pyramid Lake, located just outside Los Angeles. These reservoirs play a critical role during droughts, supplying water to farms and cities through an intricate system of canals, aqueducts, and pumping stations. In some cases, the water travels hundreds of kilometers and even crosses mountain ranges. The California Aqueduct, an iconic element of this system, transports water from the Sierra Nevada to Los Angeles, serving millions of residents along its route. The SWP is considered one of the world's most sophisticated and ambitious water management systems. When construction of the State Water Project began in the 1960s and 70s, it was envisioned as just the first phase of a much larger initiative. Plans to expand the system with additional dams and canals were drawn up for the 1980s and 90s, but these ambitions were shelved due to several significant challenges. The primary obstacle was financial. California was facing mounting debt, making further investment in water infrastructure difficult. Additionally, environmental concerns grew increasingly prominent. The new dams and pumping stations disrupted the natural flow of rivers, causing severe consequences for local ecosystems. Salmon and steelhead trout populations, which rely on unobstructed rivers to swim upstream and breed, saw dramatic declines due to these barriers. Given these financial and ecological challenges, California opted to halt further construction and rely on the existing infrastructure, hoping it would be sufficient to meet the state's water needs. However, in recent years, this decision has come under scrutiny as the state water project shows signs of strain. When the project was originally built, California's population was under 20 million. Today, that number has more than doubled, leading to an unprecedented increase in water demand. The aging dams and canals are struggling to keep up, exacerbating the state's drought problems. The system, once state-of-the-art, is now woefully inadequate for California's growing population and worsening climate conditions. Recognizing the urgency, the state has decided to embark on a new solution: the construction of the Sites Reservoir. Just a few kilometers north of Sacramento lies a narrow valley surrounded by cliffs and hills. The sparse landscape, dotted with occasional buildings and a small population, is labeled as Sites on maps, though it's not officially recognized as a town. This area will serve as the location for the new reservoir, a project designed to revolutionize California's water management. The state now plans to flood the Sites Valley, transforming it into the Sites Reservoir. This idea has existed since the 1950s and was almost included in the initial phase of California's water management strategy. However, the proposal was deemed too ambitious at the time, largely due to its staggering $4 billion price tag. In recent years, perspectives have changed. The state now considers the project a worthwhile investment, recognizing its potential to significantly alleviate California's water challenges, even if it won't entirely resolve them. Once completed, the Sites Reservoir will span 13 miles from north to south and 4 miles from east to west. At its deepest point, the reservoir will reach 260 feet from surface to floor and will be capable of holding up to 1.5 million acre-feet of water, enough to provide water for 7.5 million people for an entire year. This capacity would make it the 8th largest reservoir in California. How the reservoir will be built. The construction process will begin by sealing off the valley with a series of dams to create a giant waterproof basin. The two main dams, Sites Dam and Golden Gate Dam, will be constructed on the valley's eastern side, with additional smaller dams to the north to close any remaining gaps between the surrounding hills. Together, these structures will convert the valley into a massive water storage facility. Filling the reservoir presents a unique challenge, as the Sites Valley lacks any major rivers. Only a few small creeks traverse the area. Unlike traditional reservoirs that rely on damming a river to flood a valley, the Sites Reservoir will require an alternative method to bring in water. Approximately 25 kilometers east of the valley lies the Sacramento River, California's largest river. During the rainy season, water will be diverted from the river, channeled through fields, hills, and towns, and directed into the Sites Valley. Pumping this water from the river to the valley will require substantial energy, but the State Water Project considers it a justified effort, particularly since some energy will be recovered through hydroelectric power generation. Construction of the Sites Reservoir began in 2024, with completion anticipated by 2030. Drawbacks of the project. Despite its promise, the project has its critics. To fund the reservoir, the State Water Project plans to increase water rates, with concerns that prices could rise by up to 300%. Critics argue that providing additional water may be futile if it becomes unaffordable for many residents. Environmental advocates have also voiced concerns about the impact of diverting water from the Sacramento River on migrating fish populations. When a dam blocks a river, it can prevent fish from swimming upstream to spawn, causing significant ecological harm. However, the Sites Reservoir is an off-stream reservoir, meaning it won't directly obstruct the Sacramento River. The main environmental concern revolves around the high-capacity pumps required for the project, but these will be equipped with advanced fish screens designed to prevent aquatic life from being drawn in. Additionally, the project aims to use some of the reservoir's water to support local ecosystems. For instance, many fish species depend on deep, cold pools for breeding. During dry periods, these pools often become shallow and warm, threatening successful reproduction. The Sites Reservoir will help maintain the pools at the necessary depth and temperature, ensuring the survival of these species. While the project primarily focuses on addressing human water needs, supporting wildlife is also a key objective. What do you think of this mega project? Is it a step in the right direction for California? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.